Welcome. This is the Frontline Show on Intellectual Radio. I'm your host, Tyrone Muhammad. Go to IntellectualRadio.com. Remember, subscribe and share. This is the Frontline Show. I'm your host, Tyrone Muhammad. Carter Trust is out on business today. Hold on, let me see something here. Thank you all for tuning in. Got a number of issues I want to get right to before we get callers in, but feel free 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953, and that's intellectualradio.com for the Frontline Show. I would love to hear from you. Let me start it off by saying thank you all for tuning in every week. And it's so many serious issues that we have to deal with and tackle as a community. And I'm thankful to have a platform and be able to even allow you all to have a voice, especially those who call in to talk about the issue or chime in on the issues. And with that being said, the one thing Tuesday we didn't come in, but I wanted to talk about our children that was downtown. And it seemed to be this rush to judgment to always condemn the kids, right? We condemn the kids without ever really, I see more condemnation of the children than I see of the administrations and parents. One thing for sure is clear. Those children aren't properly parented. But I think that has always been the case in our communities. We've always had, the children have always been parented by the community. When I was growing up, we had, once you left the house, there was many buffers to correction. Even the street homies corrected individuals. I remember I was on the corners as young as 12 years old. But there was always those OGs that said, hey, smack me upside my head and say, get home. You can't hang out on the corner. As young as 10 years old, I used to watch them because it was fascinating watching them with the pretty cars, jewelry, the girls, the different stuff that would attract young men and little boys. And just being curious about how these people living, how they looking so sharp, and it was always that buffer, whether it was the Miss Johnson on the corner or whoever it was, the nosy lady in the window that was gonna tell your mama. It was always buffers to parenting. While mom was at work all day trying to make a living to pay bills in a single family household, we, as young boys, we deviants, we get off into stuff. So now, it's the obvious question is always, where's the parents? It's not parent. Parents need parenting. Parents need to be parented. This is why that's an issue. It's too many children bum rushing downtown Chicago for parents, not for that. Look how many broken households that is. It's clear even if you said those children that was down that came from a two-parent household, this is a broken household. Because how you don't know where your child at after 10 o'clock? Why don't you know where your child is after 10 o'clock? And then after 10 o'clock, and if you're not calling their phones to ask them, are y'all down there with them little kids? Clearly, it's too many unparented children out here. So how do you fix that? And what's the root cause of that? It's so many causes to what we was watching down there. But we can't escape the fact that we got we were just having this conversation earlier now. Just think about Grand Park. You have a whole empty park. A whole empty park that could be a space where children and teens can meet up with chaperones and security and police, teachers and volunteers, where they can be in that space of downtown. It's like, even in our own neighborhoods, if we as an organization wanted to throw something for the kids, guess what they say we have to have? A permit. What? How do I have to have a permit to do something social for the children, something fun for my community, when the park is empty? How do you need a permit for an empty park? The park is unoccupied. In all these communities, the parks are unoccupied. How do you need a permit for that? It's just so many barriers in government that hinders that we didn't have a lot of these barriers. You know, it was nothing for us to go pick up a bat and create a tournament in our neighborhood to play softball from blocks to blocks to blocks. Then you get all of these people involved, the bureaucracy, legislating around what you can and can't do. We even had house parties. You can't even have a legitimate house party without the government or the police or somebody coming in. Well, we kept the peace. Now you have a house party, somebody's subject to be murdered. It always leads to something else because there's no real respect. Man, you wouldn't dare violate such and such house. You wouldn't dare violate such and such house party. Because we had a level of respect. We weren't bringing that crap at my man's space and a girl's space. Now we're talking about these children. Y'all feel free to call in and talk about it. If y'all got any suggestions about how we deal with that, I'd love to hear from you. 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953. We have an incompetent mayor. We have an incompetent government and J.B. Pritzker. The only time they seem to be on a tour to our communities, and don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe, they on a tour to listening to the community after neglecting the community. He didn't do a tour to find out what we need and what our children need before they gave away billions of dollars on serving non-citizens. Now we got our babies downtown running crazy, getting arrested, hurting each other. Only answer our government has for our children is to lock them up. The only answer they have for our children is to lock them up. With the amount of policing and the amount of overtime and all of the issues that they put into policing them, you would think they would put equal or greater funding in giving them activities or lining them up with great mentors and guides that could deal with them, that could deal with the at-risk youth population. All hands are on deck. Whether I like you or not, man, take 5 kids. Whether I like you or not, here's the resources for 100 children. Whether I like you or not, whether you play in my administration or not, how do you look if you found that there was an organization or a group that may be Republican leaning or were Republicans, but they have an excellent program and getting these children acclimated and getting these children mindset right? What would you do as a government if you're a Democratic-led administration? I'm gonna tell you what this administration does. I'm gonna tell you what J.B. Pritzker does. No matter how effective you are with those children, that administration will punish you because you don't fit in their ideological slant or narrative. They will punish you. They're not really punishing you. They punishing the black community because they're not providing the proper services, the necessary services that can get our children to a place where they're stable. And once you get them stable, get them fed, get them housed, because stability is everything. Because if you're stable and you can have stability, you can kind of think through a lot of the issues. But if you have no stability in our neighborhoods I can't recall the time why communities have had stability. I'm just saying total stability. We've had relatively strongholds where we took care and handled our own situation. But not real financial stability. We didn't have. So yeah, man, we have to do better as a community to create safe spaces. In my view, for our children, and in my view, no child is irredeemable. Everybody listening. No child is irredeemable. There are impatient systems. There are ineffective systems. There are ineffective approaches. And there are ineffective solutions to capturing the mind of that individual child. Each child is different. Each children is different. If you have a group of killers, sliders, and drillers, no, 100 black men ain't getting them. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you now. Those groups are not going to be effective at going after that population of at-risk youth. They're not. We got to identify what this is and what type of children we have allowed to grow on their own without proper tutelage and guidance. And how did they get to this point? No society is ever built by children. Any disinvestment, any disenfranchisement, any violence, any mass incarceration, any lack of housing opportunities, any food shortages, anything you want to name or put a title to are ran by adults, are caused by adults. And it's not caused by children. If there's an enormous amount of guns, bullets, and weapons in the hands of our children, those are companies that's ran and owned by adults. Smith & Wesson, SIGs, Glocks, extended clips. Some adult created the switch for a gun that make it shoot the way it does. And here we are taking the fruit and punishing the fruit while never uprooting the tree that created the device in the first place. That is a cowardice. We have a cowardice government. Our government is cowardice, and our administrators and executives of this country, this world, is coward. They are cowards. They are unrighteous and they are unholy. Because if you allow, and the pastors and politicians are unrighteous and unholy, because you allow our children and you allow our community to be victimized by the accoutrements of war and negative devices, whether it's heroin, cocaine, drug, Everything has permeated our communities, even bad food. That's caused by adults, not children. It is not children's fault that they are caught up or encapsulated by the lyrics in the song that plays on the airwaves that's controlled by the government. It is not children's fault that they buy video games that teach them how to kill before they learn how to read. It is not children's fault that the movies that they watch of violence is more plentiful than the movies they watch of unity. Everything you are saying that these babies are partaking in, these babies are nurtured by adults. We would like to hear from you. 708-223-8953. That's 708-223-8953. And I'm telling you, until we take personal responsibility, till we hold our elected officials responsible for giving us what we need to save our babies, until we do that, shut up. We need to stop talking about these babies because they're doing what the prophecy said they're going to do. I'm surprised they're not doing it in a bigger clip. We want to hug a thug. We don't hold them accountable. And then when those individuals do hold themselves accountable for their action, that's not rewarded. That's not rewarded. That's not supported. When they transform their lives and they're able to come out of the communities, understanding communities of violence, communities of disinvestment, community of and really self-hate. That's what our communities are. Our communities are a community of self-hate. You know how many times I've seen grown folks, I'm telling you, grown people, ride through the neighborhood, garbage cans on every corner. I've actually seen them parked on the corner with a garbage can on the corner. Instead of getting out the car and throw the garbage in the garbage can, they throw the garbage out in the streets. They litter their own community. Or even if they passing through, they don't respect your community enough to stop and put the garbage in the garbage can. You know why? Because there's always somebody else going to pick it up. There's always somebody else going to pick it up. They'll get it. Then the people who do the least and contribute the least seem to always have the most to say about everything. And you say anything about these children. I know I got a bunch of teenagers in my Rolodex that I know I talk to all week. I pick up a phone and I talk at some points in the week. I reach out to a couple homies or they are shorties will call me and check on me. We got to be more active. We got to be more active in finding us 2 or 3 little people to nurture. That's not our own. You're supposed to take care of your own. You don't get no credit for that. You had them. You don't get credit for being a fish that can swim. You're supposed to swim. And you're supposed to take care of your children. But when you go that extra mile and you take care of another person's child, that's what we do all the time. The work that I've been able to do and been privileged to do, I'm talking about whether in the prison, because I was saving I was raising somebody else's child up, even in prison, to coming out here to establishing an organization that does this this work while being crucified by the very administrations that we vote for every year. I'm going to say it again. We do all this critical life-saving work, and then y'all go vote for these same people every year that violates certain groups and organizations because they don't like what you say, or they can't accept it. Because in their heart, they like what you're saying. They know you're not lying. But they don't expect you. Who are you to tell me this? Because we've been able to get away with all the disinvestment and negative. We've been able to eat off of Black Death. Shut up, fool. Who are you to tell us what? Be quiet. We got to stop it. We got to stop it. So we have to transform the lives of these babies by being present. And you know, I really wish I didn't have to try to build business and chase resources to be able to support my own ideas and vision of what it is that I think we need to save our communities. And that's what you have to do now. You almost have to do it yourself, because when the institutions of government is against the people, we got a problem. That's why we voted the way we voted. And we let the government know, the current government in these cities where that's pretty much liberal leaning, that we're tired. You talking about all these social dynamics, but you're not feeding the people. The people not eating. The people not eating. I don't even have. I furthermore, I would say this: as we build out to start looking at this local political landscape of who has to go, and when I think about all of the different people, I'm gonna just say Black men, that has been destroyed by our current governor, who used his money. He just did it, even though Richard Irvin was a Republican. He just used it to destroy another Black man downstate and replace him with a white man. See what I mean? He did that. Went on a whole apology tour after getting caught for talking about the lesser of the two Negroes. And he went to every Black church on the apology tour. And our pastors, the cowards, and our politicians, them cowards, they ushered him in. All you got to do is go look at some of the videos in the film. They ain't got to say nobody's name. Go back and look at the J.B. Pritzker apology tour. And then go back and look at all the Black women, politicians, all the Black men, politicians, all the Black pastors, mostly Black men. Go back and look at all of them. Why this man calling us every name, calling in the background, talking about the lesser of the two Negroes that they can deal with and that they can manage. No matter if we sent them Black people there to work with us, here you got a whole man who wasn't even the governor yet. If he think like this and he not the governor, how you think how diabolical you think he is? How diabolical you think J.B. Pritzker is when he got the power and he got money? He has the bully pulpit and the money. Even while we was down in Springfield, this man did a whole state of the state address. And on Black History Month, talking about the Holocaust. If you tell me any Holocaust, you name any Holocaust that's worse than the Black American Black person's Holocaust. Please, if I'm ignorant of this, tell me of a Holocaust worse than what we endured as slaves and still endure. Why you think our kids is down there with no guidance and tutelage? Because you still got a slave mentality. Why you think you only vote one way, regardless to how you being treated, regardless to how you openly watch them give away your money, regardless to how many women and babies are aborted in this city, this state, this world, regardless to how many black women babies are murdered, you abort your babies with their help. They don't help infant mortality rate. You die at a greater rate, black women at a greater rate than white women when giving birth. And that's not a national emergency. Black women, breast cancer, and I think is I don't know, I want to say ovaries and different stuff. Cancers of her body is more pronounced than the white woman. That the Cancer Society, Susie, Anthony, whatever her name is, we keep running over there while they don't run over here to save black women. Susie G. Coleman. Her institution ain't about saving black women. It's about getting more money for cancer research that don't have you in mind. Black women still, with all the accomplishments that you've had, sisters, with all the spaces of executive spaces that you inundate, and with all your education, you still the lowest on the totem pole, even with the unemployment rate of black men. It's so much, but you are the number one voters of the Democratic Party. Your sons are in jail, sisters. Who out there got sons, cousins, uncles, and family members in prison? Every one of them men come from a woman, a black woman. Every one of them. Black women, you have so many issues y'all have to deal with. And then those issues are further pronounced when you have no viable spouse or black man in the community to protect you, to help you, or even one that you're willing to shut up and listen to. And I don't mean shut up like shut up. I mean, actually, really, stop talking sometime, or stop, or sit back and hope that somebody can handle something so you can relax. You can't be all thing to all people and be something to yourself. It's a lot of issues we got, and we talking about these kids. We can't get it together as people, as adults. If we don't have it together as adults, how you gonna fix the kids? The children, how they gonna get fixed? If you silly. I just want to know how. If you silly, how are the kids gonna be intelligent? You got glue everywhere. Glue in your eyes, glue on your head, glue on your fingers. We got glue everywhere. And we talking about these young, I see these young girls, they don't have no direction because the grown women twerking with them. Homies, these shorties have no direction. You got grown men with their pants hanging down at 40. Yeah, y'all thought I was just going to talk about the women, huh? You crazy. We the problem. That's why they already know, man. The nation can rise no higher than this woman. And guess who allowed her to be destroyed? We do. It's on us. You have no collective responsibility as black men. And even the men with money in this city are weak as hell. They weak as hell. All of the men, a majority of the men that got money, they got money by being compromised. in some form or fashion. You can name it. Name them. They have money by being compromised. They don't have no standard. Even the neighborhoods they come from, they don't really engulf those neighborhoods with the principles that got them out the neighborhoods. They don't even they building in other states. Everybody get called out today. You think you can duck and hide from this issue? You can't. Our children are not getting better. They're getting worse. CPS ain't the answer. CTU need to go. All these unions need to get out the way. Because they ain't nothing but a voting block. They only carve up resources for select fruit. While the kids are starving out here on the corner beating on buckets. Starving out here in cups, bagging, standing outside the stores when they should be in school. I'm talking about it's so messed up. And we talking about we want to have pride in blue, pride in red. How you got pride in anything if you're not? How you can have that type of separation of narrative when America is falling? Make no mistake about it, America is dying. And we dying with it. You act like it's not. Man, how many YouTube videos you see of people just shooting each other? Live. Even with us having some concealing carries, a lot of times the people get away. Because everybody stand back and watch and record. They sit back watching and recording. They recording the madness to share, which further desensitizes you to the madness. It's mad. We about to turn up and push an agenda just to shake up, just to shake the tree, just to make some apples hit the ground. But we will be pushing an agenda, and I hope everywhere along this in this city, we could push a real independent party agenda. I see Mayor Adams just switched. You should. Thanks for listening to us. We'll be down there to see you. We need to push the agenda. Neither party have served our communities. Republicans are not in the inner cities. They never been. They never claimed to be. Why Democrats talking about what Trump gonna do to what the Republicans? They never said they was trying to do anything like that for us. They never claimed to be about the people like that. In Chicago, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about nowhere else. This is a Democratic state. This is Democratic control, Democratic power. And no matter what you say about Mr. Trump, Mr. Trump policy ain't necessarily affecting nothing on this ground right now. I ain't seen nothing Trump did that affected me. But I see everything that local politicians are doing to hurt us. I see it all. I see all of it. The behind the scenes and the stuff in front. And guess what, y'all? Most of them look like us. Y'all want me to do it again? I always do it. Y'all can sit back and listen to me. Y'all can just listen to me talk, or y'all can chime in. 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. I'm not going to sit here forever and talk about the problem. I'm going to go away. I'm going to go away, and I'm going to build, and I'm going to take those with me that want to ride, or that we collectively share some common ground. You can't holler to the blind, deaf, and dumb people forever. We're going to either figure out how to latch on and be great together, or you got to shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. Because that's how we are, a piece of dust. We particles of lifeless matter. Dust is nothing. Dust comes from something. So dust cannot operate and be great by itself. Dust got to come together to make the earth. Dust is just flying around, has no purpose in existence but to stain something up. Y'all bunch of we become just dust in America. And they move us around, wipe us up, sweep us up, gentrify us, uproot us, and put us over there. We not even dirt. We dust. That means somebody could blow you and clean the surface. That's cold-blooded. It didn't require no water, no soap, no nothing. Just blow us and we gone. That is so weak. We got to figure it out. And the problem is, it's not enough for us trying to figure it out. And that's why they're able to put up systems. They don't even got you in mind. You ain't nothing but dust. They don't have to ask you nothing. They can send the migrants in your neighborhood. You dust. They can give them your housing. You dust. They can allow migrants to kill citizens all over America. Can y'all hear me? Migrants have murdered citizens that they let in the country illegally, kill citizens, and no consequences happens to those elected officials for doing that. If you saying we're a sanctuary city, you better know where every illegal is. You better know where every one of them is. They don't know nothing. Brandon can't tell you nothing. JB Prison can't tell you nothing about where migrants are. They can put all type of blocks up against Homeland and Homeland Security and everybody else and ICE. They can put all type of blocks up, but they cannot right now for the life of them tell you where everybody is that they let in this country illegal, that prey on us, that has victimized women. Ray, what's that case over there with that woman just got murdered by that migrant, that white woman? Murdered her. Who is responsible for that? Since you let them in the country, Biden, Harris, who's responsible for that? When do you sue Brandon? Sue him. Sue everybody that says sanctuary cities is okay. That if you got a parent, a loved one that's been murdered by non-citizens, by illegals, you should be suing the aldermen that accepted that voted for the funding for them. You should sue them. Because if these people, not that I don't care if a citizen kill you, it's wrong. But here's how you got non-citizens over here that wouldn't have been over here that murdered your loved one. Think about that. They wouldn't have even been over here without his help, without the government help, that murdered your loved one. So that we got to turn this election up. It's time to make those issues front and center, and everybody going to be answered. I don't care whether it's Juliana Stratton. I don't care whether it's Raja. Or what's the other name? Robin Kelly. See, all these people, Democratic establishment, and they want your vote. County board president. We got people gonna tell us who should be our presidents, who we should vote for. We need to probably then just start looking for somebody else to put in that office as a people. Got to be somebody we want to put in there. Because I'm just at the point that everybody else that's in office is scared. Anyway, they scared of the establishment that they're a part of. They know it's wrong. They know this establishment is dirty and bogus. They don't even have a true unity even in the party, in their party, whether Republican or Democrat. They have no unity of purpose and principle. But they're afraid to go against the grain and be something different because they don't want to be outcasts, because they all caught up in mixers and parties and award ceremonies that have no meaning. What you get an award for when our community look the way they look? How? What you do? Please tell me. What did you do? What did you do that make it possible for you to get an award? I wouldn't give you nothing. You ain't no elected official have earned any opportunity. No elected official should have an opportunity to get. I mean, yep, we got a call. Hey, caller, how you doing? Tyra Muhammad, how can I help you?
Yes, sir. My name is Twinette Thornton. I'm calling from Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Pine Bluff, my hometown of my family.
Okay. Well, good.
Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Helena. We came from Marvel.
Oh, okay. Right up the road. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing?
But I'm doing great.
Okay.
But I was trying to see if I could talk briefly for a minute about my family. I don't know if you've heard Charmel Teague with the Family Dollar situation, May 1st, 2020, or possibly it was supposed to have been over the COVID mask mandate, but it actually wasn't. And they have incarcerated my entire family in Flint, Michigan, to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
In Flint, Michigan?
Yes, in Flint, Michigan, where I was born.
I mean, we going there in Flint soon, so I need to hear what. So explain to me, well, real quick, what was the situation?
Okay, May 1st, 2020. I have my family. My sister Charmel Teague, her husband Larry Teague, my nephew Ramonier Bishop, and my niece Briar Bishop. That they said that my nephew, my family went into Family Dollar and shot and killed someone over because my niece and my sister didn't have a mask on. So they put that narrative. The prosecutor David Layton and Gretchen Whitmer, they knew about what was going on. Even Biden, President Biden, knew. They gave that money, for that mask mandate. They put that mask mandate on us. But the thing about it was, and actually is, my sister had her mask on the entire time because I've seen the video in the lawyer's office, and they won't release the video. So what happened was, if you have a little time, I'll go further into detail. My niece had just moved into an apartment behind the Family Dollar store there in Flint. So she was paying bills, and my sister needed a money order. She couldn't get it where they were because the machine was down over there. So they were on the inside, and she went on the inside to get some household products for my niece. And so she had her mask on. The video shows she had a mask on as she pulled onto the parking lot driving her daughter's boyfriend's car. So as she attempted to go into the store, the young man that was outside the store, he had a shirt wrapped around his face. Now, I have evidence, I have paperwork that was given to me by some of the attorneys that she has had and they have had. So everything that I'm speaking from, I'm going by paperwork that I have here in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so as she attempted to go into the Family Dollar store to shop, he turned in behind her. As she was trying to shop, he's down the aisle. Why your daughter don't have a mask on? Why your daughter didn't come in?
Oh, so a total stranger walked behind your daughter behind talking about why she don't have a mask on.
Right, but my niece stayed outside. She asked him. My niece asked him, "Hey, do you have to have a mask on to come in here?" And she was still by the car. She wasn't even going into the store. So he told her yes. So she stayed outside by the vehicle, on the right side of the vehicle. So my sister, by her having her mask on already, she went ahead and went on the inside of the store to shop for her daughter, since her daughter did not have a mask on. So she went on the inside, and like I said, he was asking her questions about her daughter. He was trying to come on to my sister, the man was, and my sister said he was acting all funny and weird. And so she told him that, I'm being honest, she told him, that's, even though that's my daughter, she don't have a mask on, so why are you bothering me? What's going on? Leave me alone. So he started berating her, calling her out of her name, and she, because she didn't want, wasn't taking his sexual advances toward her. So as she continued to shop, he just followed her around the store. And from the video I seen and from what she has told me, he was going back and forth. So as she was getting ready to leave out the store, it was a young man that was working there. Now, the man that got unalived, they told them that, well, it's out that he was security. He was not a security guard. Family Dollar testified that he was not. But as she was walking on the way out, the young man that worked there that's related to him, and she was on the way out the door, you can tell from the video that they had an exchange of words. And he told him, because he didn't even see, and they had turned around to leave, that she spat at him, and she did not. The video shows that. She wasn't even close enough to have possibly even tried to spit at him. Mm-hmm. So he came out of the Family Dollar store, chased my sister down in the parking lot. I'm watching this on video. Chasing my sister down in that parking lot, beat her down. She got up, he beat her down again by 3 times on this video that I've seen. My niece came over and told him, get off of her. That's a woman. Get off my mama. That's a woman. All the while, the young man that told him that she supposedly spat at him, standing there, watching him beat her to a pulp and never said anything. So my niece got him off of her. They got in the vehicle and they left. So as they were leaving to go back home, because they was having, dinner over there, and that's what she was going in the store for, to buy items for that. So Charmel, she did not call, and it's often asked why she didn't call the police. For one, by me being an ex-cop and by me doing security, if you don't want somebody, he denied her service. Let me forget. He denied her service. So that's why they had to come going out the door. As he denied her service, she left out the door and he followed her to the door. So you being a security guard, if you're going to deny someone service and you don't want them in there, you're supposed to call the police, because you're not the police yourself. He did not do that. He did not do that at all. Gretchen Whitmer, they knew what was going on. Okay, so as she went on home, she did not call. They said that she called and told my nephew and told my brother-in-law that he jumped on her. No, my niece's phone, and this was testified by my niece, my niece's phone was dead. So my niece used my sister's phone. And my sister was like, no, we don't have to call them because they got video. I can get the video. I can sue them, because she sued the state of Michigan for the no-knock warrant, I think it was. Mm-hmm. I have it here. And she won against the state of Michigan. And so she knew that the video would show that she was innocent. So they called, and so she went on. My niece called my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law was there, and she told him, okay, well, we gonna call the police later or whatever. So as they were going back, Ramonier and my brother-in-law, they were in the vehicle because they were going over to Briar's to have dinner, like they had planned. So unbeknownst to Ramon, was my sister, they was going to get out of the vehicle going. They got out of the vehicle, Charmel, and on the video it shows they got in and out the vehicle. And at that time, she was telling them, no, I got it. I'll call the police. But Ramonier got out, and, I call him Smoke, Larry T. He got out the vehicle. So Charmel and them continued on to Brian, and they showed that on the video. They showed someone getting out and going in. So Charmel and them getting ready, to go over there, to eat. And so they sitting in there. They like Ramonier come back and Smoke come back, and they was like, what's wrong? What happened? And they didn't tell Brian. They didn't tell Charmel anything. So unbeknownst to them, they went in and they had shot Mr. Munnerlyn.
That was the guy that was that was security that was beating up on.
A lot. Correct. Yeah. Now, when my nephew went in, it was
so how many times he was shot?
One.
So they got a whole family in jail over one person shooting.
It's
one person, they identify who did the shooting, but they got the whole family in prison over this one incident.
Yes. And he shot because they had my brother-in-law. He was in the back when my nephew first went in. He asked what had happened. Nobody said anything. So my brother-in-law came in, and he was at the front, and he heard the discussion that his father was in there. He heard the voice, familiar voice, so he goes up to the front to see why, his father, what was going on with that. And he seen his father in the middle of two men, which was the deceased and the cousin that was watching my sister get beat outside like a monkey in the middle situation. And he seen that Mr. Munnerlyn had a gun in his pocket. And as he was going for his gun in his pocket, that's when my nephew shot it. Because he didn't know that if he was up. Yes, sir.
No, I got it. No, I wanna and they been to trial, found guilty, and everything. Yes. And so when you say, I see Cynthia Hayes in there, she's from Flint, Michigan. She's talking about Governor Whitmer, and on the Facebook Live. So like I said, it's my plan to come to Flint, Michigan. I'm gonna be spending a lot of time there this summer. So just what you can do is inbox me your info. I would like to hear more about that case. And most definitely, and I don't know when next time you come in Flint and all of that, but I got to get, let's tap in with the family. I need to tap in with you are the family, but I need to tap in with everybody down there, and they are actually in jail, right? Prison in Michigan somewhere.
Yes.
So I would like to learn more about that case. And I've seen, I thought, at the few times on Facebook or somewhere I saw that incident. Yeah. And I think they showed it all. They were showing it somewhere.
It's been all over. They made worldwide.
Yeah, so I don't know all the details. You giving us a little more clarity. But I most definitely would like to learn more about the case, and because it seemed egregious in the sense that was a trial in the way. Of course, he's a peace officer, but just the very fact and notion that I've seen that video with this man beating up on a woman. I saw that. And any man, first of all, you do that to any woman in my family, ain't no more talking. I'm gonna take you out. So I'm just telling you that's wrong. Anyway, and the emotions of the whole situation, no matter what happened and the way he was beating on that woman, that would spark any man to come into defense of his loved one. So I just think that case is that they're being excessive right now, and the very fact that the women got time too. So that's why I said I want to know more detail. I got a little more detail now since you called, but I don't know. And then I want to say to you then, what is it that you want me to do? Because you called.
I just wanted to speak out because my family speak out.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they kept my family quiet. When we tried to speak out, different people telling us not to. And I said, well, why y'all wait so late? Why you wait so late? It wasn't that we waited late. The news, they wouldn't speak to us.
Yep.
They had that. They had a red, a black tape. Everything that they did, because I spoke with channel, I forgot the channel, that the station there in Flint, and I told them that my family didn't bother anybody. No one. Ramondre has a consent to carry. He had a consent.
So did the family? This guy works though for Family Dollar, right? He was the security for that.
No,
he wasn't.
No, sir. No, sir. He was not a security guard. Family Dollar, two administrators, owners of Family Dollar, testified in court that he did not service them as a security guard.
So
as a matter of fact, they said he was not.
So who did they have a security guard on duty?
No.
Okay.
No, they just said he was a greeter.
Oh, but he worked for them.
So but he was not in the capacity.
No, I understand. What I'm trying to get at is he worked for them as a company, and he also had a gun.
Correct.
And he was in on security.
Correct. And he was testified in court by one of the employees that worked there, because they were trying to say that that was the gun that my nephew had. But in fact, it really wasn't. It was the gun that he had. And she testified in court that that was the gun that she recognized as the gentleman that was unalived with it.
Well, let's further build on this, and because I most definitely, as organization that fight for and position ourselves to be intervention of returning citizens and those who would be prisoners. So we want to be able to find the justice in that, and just the whole advocacy that we do about our community and about our people business. So I'm here. I want to listen. I want to see where we can intersect and how we can line the family up and everybody, and see how we get to maybe getting the Trump administration to look further into this case and everything else. Because if we got a governor that was a part of it, then we need to be able to kind of petition her or lobby or even protest, just to look at this case. But I can't definitively say anything because I don't know the victim.
Correct.
And I don't know, and I don't know the case. So if I've seen the video, and this is the first time I've ever talked to somebody about that case, and through, with your call. So all right, I'm on point. Just give it to me. I probably need to be spending my time doing some other stuff anyway. All right, most definitely. But just
say this and then I'll leave.
Okay.
I've been trying to get help. No one wants to help me, and I've been intimidated. No one wants to touch the case. When it first started, they were telling me, different attorneys were telling me there in Michigan that it'd be $100,000 per.
So it's always money, huh? When it comes to justice,
huh? Correct. And everybody has profited off of their incarceration. Kari Honorable, what is the Hannibal? He's profited off. Gretchen Whitmer has profited. They all have profited off. Everybody has made newer waves with my family behind bars because they used that. It was over a mask. It was not. He did not go in there to intentionally shoot him. He just wanted to know what had happened.
And he should. As a man, he should want to know what has happened. Where you got your hands on my family member, female family members. You beating them in the streets, in the parking lot, or wherever it is. Whatever the issue is, you're not a police. Then call the police. You shouldn't touch them. It's not your duty to mete out punishment or any of that stuff. So it's unfortunate that a person lost their life in that. But it's doubly unfortunate that you got a whole family in jail over one shooting, one bullet, one shooting, one murder, one incident.
Yeah, and it came out in court, which I have. He was under the influence of cocaine and other drugs. It was found in his system.
I don't care if
I
he
had
was
the
so.
autopsy.
I don't care if he was sober. One thing led to another that shouldn't have never happened. That led to another thing that then caused more damage. So thank you for calling in. It's time for us to wrap it up. But I'm happy. I hope our show allowed you to get your voice off, and I want to stay in tune so we can further explore how we can help you from our end.
Yes, sir. I'll put my information in your inbox.
All right.
And I really appreciate the time that you have given me.
Thank you, sister, for calling.
Thank you so much.
So y'all can see all over the country, we got to be able to listen, and that our people need to be heard. Man, there's so much going on in the country. I'm talking about this. Not far. We got May the 15th, right? I think New Jersey. We got a whole ex-con forum that we're about to do, because there's power in numbers, and there's ex-cons all over America, and they got family members, and they have the right to vote. We gotta be heard, because even after you pay your debt to society, we still perpetually discriminated against. And our goal is to prevent the little homies that was downtown from ever becoming a convict in the first place. So we need the resources. We need everything. We need everybody's assistance, help. We need everything to get our communities back in alignment, man. Because it's clear there ain't no God in the house. Surely there's no God in politics. So y'all can get that out. When they have the politicians in the churches, they telling y'all where they stand. The God and politics does not mix. I don't care how you say it. They can use God all they want. They use God as a tool for their dirty religion to prevent you from seeing the tricks and the traps that they're creating in policy, that they continue to eat off you in your ignorance as a slave for parties, opposed to a servant to the people. This is Tyrone Muhammad. You are listening to the Frontline Show. It is the Frontline Show on IntellectualRadio.com. As I've always tell y'all, go and subscribe and share IntellectualRadio.com. So thank y'all for tuning in. We're wrapping it up. I'll see you again on Tuesday. And may God continue to bless you and your families. And thank you for tuning in. Love yourself.
You cannot handle this intellect. You cannot handle this intellect.